This is a Ghost Dog mixtape original.
Welcome to Ghost Dog's Big Talk, and I'm your host, Ghost Dog. It's your boy Ghost Dog back in the building. I'm over here to give y'all day 4 training camp recap. I know I'm coming with y'all with a little late, but there's some things going on in the background, some other projects, if you will, other stuff at home that I got to take care of. That being the case, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more on top of things, if you will, in terms of the current events. So as I said, this video is going on my main channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Leave a like, leave a comment. It helps my channel grow. Personally, I would appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000, as TP likes to say. Well, no longer. Congrats to him again. Now on the road to 10,000. But we over here on the road to 1,000. No, for sure. Recap days 3 and 4, Giants training camp. I'll be posting this on my main channel. I will do a tap in Tuesday for days 5 and 6, which is more current, over at the Aboriginal Sports Network. So keep an eye out for that. I'll leave a link here in the description for the Aboriginal Sports Network channel, and vice versa on the Aboriginal Sports Network channel for the days 3 and 4 recap for my main channel. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's just talk about the elephant in the room again, one more time. JMS. John Michael Schmitz continue to struggle going into day 3. Just bad all around. I'm pulling for the young man. I really want him to succeed. Really tired of us just not drafting these picks right. Just really tired of just not getting the most out of them. I'm not on him just yet. Training camp, this is where the iron gets sharpened, as they say. Hopefully he can get it together. I'm not all the way out, but right now, however, at the moment, it is looking a little shaky, should I say, a little bit, up to the point where they even had Jake Kubas out there taking a couple snaps at center, not on the teams, but like on personal drills with Carmen Bracillo. So, just not just yet, but however, that being the case, JMS is on watch. He's close to being officially on watch for me. However, the offense, moonball after moonball, connection after connection to Malik Neighbors, that man is getting all the way busy. There is not a cornerback in the building that can touch that man, who can compete with that man, keep up with that man. I just cannot wait to see him cook all the CBs in our division, especially being the case that Cooper DeJean, he made the 60th spot, 7 spots over Leak. So let that be bulletin board material for that man to just get better, to get motivated. He's going to be routing everybody up. It ain't no cornerback in our division who's going to be able to compete with that young man. That's just what that is, man. And it's great that he has a Russell Wilson throwing him the ball. You love to see it. Russell Wilson, again, he's a veteran. He's not new to this. Going through the motions, he's making it look real easy. He's making it look real good. Something that we haven't seen here in so long. Expect him to do things, to be able to compete. I keep saying this. We will have glimpses of Dangerous so long as this O-line holds up. We'll talk about that later. Going into days 5 and 6. We'll get to that. Stay tuned for the tap-in Tuesday. Again, we are recapping days 3 and 4 here at my main channel. That's Ghost Dog's Big Talk. Again, however, great things coming out of Malik Neighbors. Slayton made some plays. Wan'Dale Robinson was out there making some plays. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. So speaking of Wandell, though, there was a little bit of a scary situation. Him and Brian Burns had a collision. Thank God everything is okay. But in the moment, however, it was something to concern ourselves with, being as that this team is no stranger to injuries. We do not want that here. Let's knock on some wood. Pause. Speaking of injuries, however, there was one for Bryce Ford Wheaton. Messed up his Achilles again. This just seems to be a situation with this young man, and it's unfortunate because a couple years ago when he came out as a UDFA, with being that he's a physical specimen, his physical attributes, if you will, I was pulling for this young man. I love to see big body receivers, pause, and he just fit that mold. And I was really hoping he could be similar to like that Victor Cruz UDFA type of story where he comes in and just lights up the field for us. Unfortunately, it just never came to be. Second-year injury. Chances are this might be his last go-around. I can only hope for a speedy recovery for that young man. And hopefully when he comes back, he can just hit that ground running and prove himself to that he has a spot in this league and that he can get it. However, at this point, I just don't think it's with the New York Giants. And this goes to saying with a lot of players on this team, quite honestly, as we get closer to that 53 roster cut bubble day, nothing but the best for that young man. Peace be the journey. Prayers for that young man. What do we have here? Abdul Carter. Let's go on to the defense. Is as advertised. I cannot stress that enough. From the spin moves to the dips, he's making everybody out there look silly. Not only JMS, he made Illumino look a little crazy out there. He's just having his way. Any way you put him, whether you put him in the A gap, whether you line him up on the outside, on the off ball, does not matter. The man is causing havoc on this defense, on the offensive line, wherever you line him up. And hopefully that can transition into when we get into the start of the season. We need him playing like that, just wandering around like some kind of lion in the savannah, just prowling. That's what we need him to be doing, up and down that trench line, up and down that line of scrimmage. We need him to be able to put fear into that offense and not knowing what angle, what position he's going to come from. That's what I want to see. And, so far he's doing that. So far they're mixing and matching him all over the line, and it don't matter. It just does not matter. And I think that's going to be something to look, towards going into the season. Drew Phillips, an absolute dog. What more can I not say about that young man making plays? I said he was a dog last year when we drafted him. He continues to be a dog, making plays. Yes, absolutely. He's not losing his slot corner position. And pay attention. There's a lot of battles going on with the Deonte Bankses and the Cordell Flotts. I do have a sleeper in the mix from South Carolina who's a UDFA. We haven't really been hearing much about him. However, for as much as I'm pulling for Banks, make no mistake about it, I want this young man to succeed as much as I want JMS to succeed, especially because they came out in the same year. This is year 3 for them now. The prove it year, right? He has some struggles here and there in camp, made some plays, but then, however, at the same time, nonetheless, he's, struggling here and there. He's just got to get his head turned around. He's physical on the line. He's step for step. Just towards the end, it's just a matter of, I don't know if it's his confidence, or maybe he doubts himself. Just turn your head around, young man. Make the play on the ball. It's just when you're on top of the receiver and you're playing the hands, that's you're setting yourself up for to get penalties called on you, and that's not a good look, because you already have this perception of a struggling corner. You don't need the flag magnet on top of that. You understand? So absolutely not. Drew Phillips is getting busy, as well as Javon Holland. This defensive backfield should be talked about a little bit more. As far as strong as we feel as Giants fans, this defensive front is, this defensive backfield is looking real good too. Outside of Malik Neighbors, because he's the exception. Obviously, he's going to cook everybody. That's what we drafted him for, though. That's why he's here. So, yeah, no, that was my days 3 and 4 recap. Some great things, couple things that kind of has us a little concerned. Although going into days 5 and 6, those things kind of alleviated, if you will. However, we will talk about that going into the Tap In Tuesday over at the Aboriginal Sports Network, recapping days 5 and 6. Again, this is my recap for days 3 and 4. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe. Helps my channel grow on the road to 1,000. Subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment. I got thick skin. If you think I'm talking nonsense, hey man, type it up in the comments. We can have the back and forth. I got no problem. I'll take a little bit of time out of my day for you. It's the only thing I could do in appreciation, you know? Apply the sciences, apply the mathematics. Help me get bigger to help you get better content. That's all I can say. That being the case, recap for days 3 and 4. You know what time it is. Go Big Blue. Can't wait for the season to start. And that's my recap. Ghost out. Peace. Let me tell y'all something. Why don't you go ahead and hit that button? If y'all feel the vibe, just click subscribe. And if you appreciate the way I spit on the mic, then please smash that like.